Mastering the art of gradient eyeshadow using the marker technique. This method is incredible. I will guarantee you that you will fall in love with it. Try this and blend away to perfection. If you're ready, let's begin. I'm going to start with my eyebrows, and for that I'm using the House Labs Precision Edge Brow Pencil in the shade Brown Black. There's a spoolie brush in the back, and I'm going to use it to brush my brow hair downward so I can clearly see on top. I can shape and fill it in before I use the spoolie again to brush my brow hair upwards so I can clearly see at the bottom and shape my brows. I don't like to fill it in too much because I already have thick brows, but if you have thinner or sparse brows, you can also use a pomade or a brow powder to give it more thickness. Using the Milani concealer in the shade 145, which I usually use, I'm going to clean up underneath my brows and also use it on my lid as a base for the eyeshadows. I'm not going to set it with powder because I want that maximum pigment payoff. Instead, I'm just going to let it dry before I use the eyeshadows. Here's how to implement the simple technique. All you have to do is divide your lid space into 4 sections. To mark, I'm going to use a lighter shade of concealer. I'm just using the Milani concealer in the shade 135. First, I'm going to draw a straight line right in the center of my lid. That'll leave me with 2 sections on my lid. I'm going to further divide each section into half by drawing 2 more lines in the center of each section. And that'll leave me with 4 equal sections on the lid. Now I'm going to paint each of these sections with a different eyeshadow shade. To demonstrate today's technique, I'm going to be using the brand new palette by Alter Ego. This is called Midsummer. It's a beautiful eyeshadow palette with neutral mattes, shimmers, and metallics. For the innermost section, I'm going to be using the shade Festival, which is the lighter shade with a lot of sparkles. So that'll also help to highlight the inner corner. I'm applying it with a flat shader brush, and for the second section, I'm going to dip into this beautiful shade called Dew, and I'm going to apply it with the same flat shader brush in that section. For the third section, I'm going to dip into something deeper. This is called Tempest. It's a beautiful teal duochrome, and I'm applying to the third section again with the same flat shader brush. And for the fourth and final section in the outer corner, I'm going to dip into the deepest shade called Twilight using the same flat shader brush. I'm just using the same brush throughout my lid. I'm going to apply it in the outer corner section. I personally like to use the lighter shade in the inner corner, leading up to the deepest shade as we move to the outer corner. Now comes the fun part. I'm going to be using the same flat shader brush to blend everything. Before that, I'm going to wipe it off with a terry cloth to clean it up. And I'm going to go back to the lines that I drew to divide my lid space, focusing on the first line towards the inner half. Using the flat shader brush, I'm going to lightly smudge over that line. As you can see, I'm only smudging over the line where the 2 eyeshadows meet, and that is going to cause the gradient. You can see how beautifully that is blended and has also maintained the eyeshadow shades. Now I'm going to work on the center line, again smudging only on that line and not on the eyeshadows itself. When you end up blending over both eyeshadows, they mix and change colors. Instead, when you blend over just that line where the 2 eyeshadows meet, that's when you get the gradient. And now for the last line, doing the same thing that I did with the other 2 lines to get that beautiful ombre. And again, you can do this with any eyeshadows, whether they're mattes, shimmers, or metallics, to get that beautiful ombre of shades and become a pro at blending. I'm going to soften the outer edge before I use a transition to finish up this look. For transition, I'm going to dip into Solstice with a blending brush. I'm going to buff this out in the outer corner so the deeper eyeshadow can melt into my skin tone. I'm also going to be using it in my lower lash line, smoking and softening it out. Next, dipping into Meadow with a flat definer brush and applying it closer to my lashes in my lower lash line to balance out the shades on the lid. Using the Urban Decay 24/7 Inks Liquid Liner in black, I'm going to pull out a small wing and define my lash line, keeping it very close to the lashes because I don't want to take away from the beautiful eyeshadows, creating a very thick eyeliner. To finish up, I'm going to curl my lashes and apply a coat of mascara. I'm going to be using the Pixie Large Lash Mascara. You're welcome to use eyelashes if you prefer, but today I wanted to again keep the focus on the gradient and blending of the eyeshadows. They look absolutely stunning, so I'm going to stop at mascara. I'm not going to be using any lashes. I don't want to cover up my lid space, but if you prefer to use it, you might as well. How stunning is that blend, and how easy is it to create a stunning gradient by using those lines? You don't even have to draw those physical lines moving forward. Once you practice, you can do those imaginary lines and still use the same technique. Either way, practice it with any type of eyeshadow and it turns out fantastic. And I can guarantee you, you will be soon a pro at blending. I'm going to finish this look up with a beautiful lip plumping gloss by City Beauty in the shade Crimson. This is one of my favorites. But before that, I'm going to be using a neutral eyebrow pencil as a lip liner. I like microtip brow pencils because they're so precise when you draw those lines in the borders. And now I'm going to be using the lip plumping gloss, and as you can see, this is absolutely stunning. Nice thing about using neutral eyeshadows is they pair really well with any lip shade, from nudes to reds to berries. So depending on the occasion, you can choose your lip shade. And here is the completed look. How stunning did that turn out? And I hope my instructions were clear enough and easy to understand. I would love to hear from you, so comment below and let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, as always, please don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And do check out the description box for all the products that I used, along with my social media links in case you plan to follow me there. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon with a brand new one. Bye guys.